Phoenix.
Kick off your weekend with Rising, rivals, and unbeatable deals. Phoenix Rising takes on Las Vegas Lights FC on Friday, September 5th at 7:30 p.m. And $1 beers are flowing all night long. This is the match fans wait for. High energy, big moments, and a crowd that brings the heat. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours now at phxrisingfc.com. Friday Night Lights, fierce rivalry, cold drinks. Don't miss it.
You got the paint job, but now you need the materials fast. Get free same-day or next-day delivery on select PPG paints from the Home Depot. Now that's a pro move. Save time on store runs and get free delivery on small or large orders of select items. Save energy shopping around with PPG's wide assortment of colors and finishes all in one place. And save money with Pro Extra, where you can get up to 20% off paints, primers, and stains through Paint Rewards. The Home Depot, how pros get more done.
America. We are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. By honoring your sacred vocation of business, you impact your family, your friends, and your community. At Grand Canyon University, our MBA degree program is 100% online, with emphases in business analytics and finance to help you reach your goals. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
At Nationwide Vision, we help you step into every moment clearly and confidently. From quality eyewear and comfortable contact lenses to comprehensive exams and professional fittings, we make finding your focus a more enjoyable experience than ever. Right now, buy one pair of glasses and get the second one free, so you can live bolder, look sharper, and see better. Schedule an appointment today to find your focus.
It's your last chance to stock up on your favorite refreshing wines at AJ's 25% off end of summer wine sale. Now through September 7th, explore our exquisitely curated collection of summer wines and save 25% when you mix or match 6 or more 750 milliliter bottles. Savor summer by sharing the season's finest sips and save 25% when you buy 6 or more bottles. It's now through September 7th, only at AJ's.
Live the horror at Universal Studios Hollywood Halloween Horror Nights. Select nights September 4th to November 2nd. Face your fears in post-apocalyptic LA in a haunted house based on the hit show Fallout and more. Event not recommended for children under 13.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Sounder is back on the menu. Welcome into the Wednesday edition of the lunch break right here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you. Producer Evan is behind the glass. He's ready to take your phone calls today, 480-864-1060. That's how you can join us, or at least one way that you could join us on the show today. We've also got the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream, and you can hang out and chat away over there. It finally happened. The monkey off the back of Jordan Lawlar, the stress, the weight of the world lifted off of his shoulders. That's where we start today's program.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
Oh, yeah. Put it back on the menu, Producer Evan. It's right back where it belongs.
What did I say yesterday? A multi-hit day?
We were debating whether or not it needed to be a
hit streak.
A hit streak. And I guess all he needed was us threatening the removal. I mean, we didn't threaten it. We took the Sounder off the soundboard. We said, cannot play this right now.
Anything hit over, anytime you have multiple at-bats with a ball hit over 100 miles an hour, that's a win.
Not just his first hit of 2025, a multi-hit game, all 3 outs extremely, the one out that he had, his 3 at-bats, all extremely loud. 107, I think, on the double, 104.5 on the single. His out was 99 plus miles an hour off the bat, just taking some really good swings. And I would love for us to spend the majority of the open of the show heaping praise on Jordan Lawlar for having that performance and talking about the excitement that I think we all have about this being the start of something for him. That now, that with that weight lifted off of his shoulders, probably breathes a little easier up there in that batter's box, and he might be more comfortable, and we may see a fantastic end to this season, giving the Diamondbacks something to build off of going in to 2026. I would love for that to be the way we start today's show, but I can't do that. I can't focus only on the good of last night because Torey Lovullo and the Arizona Diamondbacks made a absolutely insane decision this morning. They're going to play about an hour and a half from now, and Jordan Lawlar isn't in the lineup today. We said play this kid every day once you called him back up. We said that even with the struggles that he was having, play him every day. Let him work through this. This feels very much like a mental thing. And once he has that game, and I even think I said it yesterday, if he has that multi-hit performance, that could be the thing that sparks a hot streak. And so what does Torey Lovullo and the Diamondbacks do today? They put out a lineup for a matinee game, and they don't have Jordan Lawlar in there. So he has this great game. He actually has some confidence working towards him. And because there's a righty on the mound, because Jack Leiter is going for the Rangers, Jordan Lawlar is getting a day off. Jordan Lawlar can't be in the lineup. I find that, honestly, inexcusable of a decision to be made by this organization today. I do not understand why you wouldn't ride the hot hand after the night that he had last night. Why wouldn't you feed that confidence? Why wouldn't you show him that support? Hey, kid, 3 hard hit balls. You played well. 2 hits. You're finally off the schneid. We got an OPS above 200. Let's keep this snowball rolling here. Let's keep this thing going. Let's get that OPS up to 400, 500, 600. Let's get it more respectable, but we're starting something here. The snowball's rolling.
Any hit he gets may add 100 to his OPS.
We are dealing with the smallest of sample sizes, and when you're starting from 0, yes, there can be some wild swings in the OPS when you start as low as Jordan Lawlar got this season. But why wouldn't he be in the lineup today? You're doing him a disservice. You're not doing right by your young player, and that's what this month is supposed to be about. You're supposed to get answers about Jordan Lawlar, just like you're trying to get answers about Blaze Alexander, who is going to be a very important piece here, not just the remainder of this season, but next season in the wake of what we learned about Lourdes Gurriel and his ACL tear yesterday. We'll touch on that a little bit later on here in the show. Just bad news across the board for everybody when it comes to that injury. Player, team, organization, fan base, just bad all around to have that news yesterday, and bad all around to start today, because I don't get it. Day game after a night game, we got to sit a young player like Jordan Lawlar. This isn't a 36-year-old veteran who needs a day off every once in a while. This isn't somebody you've been running into the ground. This is a player who needed a night like last night, and he got a night like last night, and you're not going to reward him. You're not going to try to keep those good times going. You're instead going to sit him down. And I have pushed against everybody who has criticized Torey Lovullo and who has wanted him to be fired. I think most of the time I've been a Torey defender. I think that's a fair way to describe the way I've positioned myself. I can't defend this. There is no defending this today. This is a bad decision by a manager who I don't think can afford many bad decisions, and I don't get this one. I don't get not playing your young player. Right now, that 2-hit game that he had last night is the best night he's had probably in his major league career. And I want to, this is going to be a weird analogy, but you're growing a garden, right? You got to water the plants to make them grow. He had a good night. You want to water that success. You want that success to continue to flourish. You want this to be the analogy we use all the time, the snowball rolling down the hill, creating the avalanche, and that avalanche being the success of Jordan Lawlar at the big league level. Looking like the player that matches his AAA Reno numbers, just doing it at Chase Field, doing it wearing a Diamondbacks uniform. And instead, you sit him down today. I put it on my social media account. I quote tweeted the lineup and I said, perhaps this is just a mistake. Perhaps the social media interns got the wrong version of the lineup and they posted it, and we'll get a correction here in a little bit. Because if that is the lineup, I don't get it. I don't understand why Jordan Lawlar isn't in the lineup today. And you know what? I know we had the moratorium on it. I'm playing the sounder. It's back. Why is he not in the lineup today? What does he need to do in order to earn a spot in the lineup? I know he just had 2 hits last night. I get it. But you have a young player who had a very slow start to his year this year, has struggled immensely this year, and he has a good night. Don't you want to reinforce your belief, your confidence, your faith in that player? And instead, you sat him down. You sat him down today. Why? Is there somebody off the bench that you just had to get in the lineup today? What's more important than getting Jordan Lawlar as many at-bats as possible the rest of the year? Producer Evan, can you pull up the lineup for me for today? Because I want to go through it. I want to see who has to be in this lineup today over Jordan Lawlar. Who has to get their 3 ABs over Jordan Lawlar? Who doesn't have a ton of major league experience? Who's had injuries derail his ability to get big league time? So you would think there would be a sense of urgency here to get him as much time as possible, especially after a night like last night.
The lineup is as follows: Perdomo.
Oh, got to be in there.
Marte.
Got to be in there.
Carroll.
Got to be in there.
Moreno.
Got to be in there.
Del Castillo.
Does he have to be in there?
No. Blaze Alexander.
Got to be in there.
Alec Thomas.
He doesn't have to be in there.
Hey, we are done with Alec Thomas. He can't be the future of this team, period.
Okay, so we've got two players.
The answer is Alec Thomas is not the future. I know that.
2 players.
I don't know Jordan Lawlar yet.
We've got 2 players.
By the way, where I stand on this is a fireable offense. This is so bad.
I agree.
Locklear at first base and McCarthy in left. You know what else I know about McCarthy? He can't play. He's not a major league contributor or starter to a good baseball team.
So we've got McCarthy, Thomas, and Del Castillo that are in this lineup.
We can't run Blaze out there in center again?
We can't try Blaze in left. We can't try Jordan Lawlar in left. We can't.
I'm serious. I wouldn't let him. You can't hold the lineup card. And if this is a organizational decision, you are ruining this kid.
I hate this decision.
You are ruining Jordan Lawlar.
And I don't say that many times about a managerial decision in baseball because most of the time I can get it. I don't understand this one. What are they trying to do by sitting Jordan Lawlar today? Day game after a night game?
Who cares?
Don't care. I legitimately don't care. Play him every day. You are 6.5 games out of a playoff spot. You're not going on some magical run. You are in evaluation mode. And oh, by the way, there's an argument that Jordan Lawlar helps you win more than some of the other guys that you have in there. I know he's struggled.
I'm serious when I say, does Alec Thomas offer you anything Jordan Lawlar doesn't?
No.
Does McCarthy? I almost called him JJ McCarthy. It's football season.
It's football season. Well, it's understandable. No, and again, Jordan Lawlar has 2 hits this year at the big league level. So they're not sitting down an all-star to play these guys. I get it. I understand. But you've got a young player. This is the top prospect in your system. Let's face it. You treat certain prospects differently than everybody else in the organization. This is your top prospect, and you are mishandling this. Where's the phone call down from the front office today to say, what are we doing? Why is he not in the lineup? Unless he's hurt. That's the only explanation I could understand.
That's what I don't understand is that if this was an organizational plan, it's wrong. Right. And that's arguably more concerning. Actually, not arguably. That is more concerning.
If he's hurt, obviously I understand it. But we haven't heard anything about him being hurt. We haven't heard anything about him going on the IL. Why is he not in the lineup today?
I will never understand this one. Never.
Hit the ball hard. All 3 times last night.
I was going to say, he had 3 great at-bats.
The double was 107.9 off the bat.
And his flyout was almost 100 miles an hour, too. Wasn't that at 99?
Yeah, 99.9, I believe, is where that one clocked in at. The single was 104.5. 3 hard hit balls, which is what you expect with Jordan Lawlar. He hits the ball hard. He's fast. He hits the ball hard. He's got power. He plays good defense. That's why he's the number one prospect in the system. So unless he's hurt, unless we're going to hear from Torrey that he just was unavailable because something happened, I don't get this one. It's All Code over on YouTube says, the tone-deaf decision-making by Torrey is staggering. Lawlar needs to be in the lineup every day. If there's nothing wrong with Jordan Lawlar, there is zero excuse for him being out of this lineup today. Zero. And I'm checking. I've got social media open. You know what? I'm hoping that's the answer. I'm hoping the answer is that he's actually hurt. And I hate to say that out loud because that's the only thing that can make sense here. If he's not in this lineup because they wanted to get other guys at bats or because Jack Leiter's on the mound, we felt like this was, we got to get our lefties in there. We got to get Alec Thomas in there. We got to get Jake McCarthy in there. What are we doing? You know what I think about matchups right now with where this team is at in the season?
Who cares?
I want to play players that I'm evaluating. I don't need to evaluate Alec Thomas or I almost did the Jake McCarthy anymore. I'm good. I need to evaluate Blaze Alexander every day. I need to evaluate Tyler Locklear every day. I need to evaluate Jordan Lawlar every day. I need to evaluate Adrian Del Castillo most days. Is that my DH option next year? Am I going to try to make him a first baseman? I can understand that. Unless he is hurt. And I'm not rooting for it, but it's the only thing that makes this not a fireable offense today. The only thing that makes this acceptable is that Lawlar is banged up and he needed the day.
He's been 0 for 30. And the day he got to, just the thought of any player, young or not young player, going 0 for 30, putting them in the lineup, having his best day in months, and then pulling him to me, it's ludicrous. It's a ludicrous idea. And then to add on top of it, it's one of the young, not only best prospects in your system, but best prospects across all of baseball. And you're not going to play him every day, even when he played well last night. I don't understand the logic, the decision-making, and to me alone, this is the move. This is the final straw that breaks the camel's back in what has been a year of failure after failure after failure. From the team to the Ketel Marte story getting out to now this, you just cannot allow a fourth story to come out with this guy at the helm. Torey Lovullo, it's time.
I can't argue with any of that. If Jordan Lawlar is healthy and he is just sitting because Torrey is playing the matchups today, I can't argue with anything that you said. I'm going to carve out this little space for all of us to say, we understand that if he's hurt, if he's banged up and he needs the day. Obviously, if you're hurt, you can't play. But I haven't heard anything that tells me that Jordan Lawlar is hurt. So I'm going to need an explanation. I need an explanation pregame on what's going on here. And if I hear anything about matchups,
who cares?
I do not care. Sometimes, and this is coming from the guy who loves data and stats more than anybody. How many times do we play this drop?
I'm a huge nerd.
How many times do we probably give you numbers, you the listener of this show? How many times do I throw numbers and statistics at you that probably are way above your head because you don't know what they are because PFF or StatCast or all of these numbers that we throw at you to try to paint a picture of what these teams are doing. Some of them, they go over my head, and I'm in the weeds on this stuff every single day. But sometimes you have to use your gut. Sometimes you have to have the human element. Sometimes you have to just go with what your eyeballs tell you. And my eyeballs told me he had a breakout performance last night. He had a multi-hit game. He now's not carrying that stress. He got his first couple of hits. Let's go. Let's ride. Play him every day. We've been saying it from the moment he got called up. Dude needs to be in the lineup every day. I'm not hoping for an injury because I don't root for players to get hurt, but I'm hoping that that's what this is because it's the only way it makes sense and doesn't make me want to drive down to Chase Field and help Torrey pack his things.
It's a different conversation if they're one game out and you're playing the matchups. The season is over.
If I'm trying to
I don't know how somebody in that room needs to knock on his door of his office and tell him that the season is over. And there is a lot of importance in the month of September for the Diamondbacks. There just is, of finding out who on this roster is going to be the answer in 2026 to surround a core that can make you competitive. But they're so enamored with this idea that maybe they can make a push, I guess, that they're playing matchups when I know what Alec Thomas is and I know what Jake McCarthy is. I don't have that question in my head. I really don't. And you know what questions I do have is, what can Blaze Alexander give me every day playing third base or playing center? What can Jordan Lawlar add to this infield and be the last piece that they need to compete in 2026? Or what can Tyler Locklear, who is in the lineup today, what can he give me at first base? Is he my answer at first base? Those are the questions. Those are the big three. You have some questions in the bullpen, some questions at pitcher. This is a extremely disappointing lineup card. I've never been more, in all my years of being a baseball fan for the Phillies, following the Diamondbacks over the last 5 years, I've never been more upset at a lineup card. I really haven't.
I joked with you this morning about it. I joked. We were talking about it in the morning meeting. I had written down here, literally, the topic for this open to the show today was the sound, quote, "The sounder is back on the menu, boys and girls." I couldn't wait to heap all this praise on Jordan for sticking with it, having that great night, and this is the start of something that we're going to get a chance to see him now break out. That's what I was going to predict. That's the take we were going to have to start the show. And I joked with you. I said, watch, he won't be in the lineup today. And we laughed and we chuckled and we're like, that'd be funny, right? That's a good joke, Chris. No, it's now actually our reality. So unless there's an injury, and we can just scratch all this from the record books. But what we do here, we turn these microphones on. The red light is on here. I have to react with the information that is given to me. And I don't have information of an injury keeping Jordan Lawlar out of the lineup. Fireable offense, in my opinion, if this is just a managerial decision today.
What do you actually think the real percentage is that he has an injury and can't play?
He did get pulled from the game last night, right? So that's the only thing that's making me wonder if there's something going on. He did get taken out of the game late. So could there be? But he talked post game. Nobody asked him anything.
Nobody asked him about an injury.
Nothing came up in the post game about it.
And yeah, I
don't know.
I mean, Alec Thomas never had an at bat, so like it's not like Lawlar missed an AB.
No, but there was a change made, and he was taken out of the game.
And you would have to imagine that's for defensive replacement, right? You put Thomas in center, you move Alexander to third. I imagine that's a defensive replacement.
At that point in the game, you're holding on to a slim margin.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't feel
like an injury.
But you're asking me to put a percentage on it. That's the one thing that's keeping me from saying.
Even then, 5-10%?
It's not a lot, but it's at least non-zero with that thought crossing my mind. And honestly, it's the only reason why in the course of the open here, I even brought it up. Because while I was ranting and raving, I thought to myself, well, he did come out of the game. Maybe that's what's going on here. But even then, to your point, feels like more of a defensive thing. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on this. I'm sure we'll continue to be hot about this, especially if we learn that it's not an injury-related thing, that it is just a managerial decision, because I don't get this one. I need somebody a lot smarter than me. And I feel like when it comes to baseball, that's the one sport of the three that we talk about here on this show. I feel pretty well versed in baseball. It's my first love, that sport. I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on how things are done in that sport. I don't get this one.
I just want to here's what MLB.com says.
Okay, what does MLB.com say?
In the top of the eighth. Defensive substitution. Alec Thomas replaces third baseman Jordan Lawlar, batting ninth, playing center field.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to hop in today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream, where you can chat away with everybody over there, agreeing with us here in the early part of the program with the weirdness, just how bad of a decision this is. When we come back, what's more important for the Cardinals in 2025? Their offense or their defense? That's next. The lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Ben DiNucci, NFL quarterback. I'm still going to introduce you as NFL quarterback. Being on the practice squad, what's the difference in how you're treated, lifestyle?
Honestly, nothing's different. I mean, there's 53 guys on the active roster and there's 16 on the practice squad. And the reality of the NFL is that guys are going to get hurt. There's a reason that these teams put a lot of effort into the practice squad, just like they do the active roster. It's really all the same. You're still traveling with the team. The pay cut's a little bit less, but at the end of the day, it's still great.
Live Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS 1060 app.
Hosier presents the Unreal Unearthed Tour 2025 live in Phoenix. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, October 7th. With special guest, Amble. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The #1 album, Unreal Unearthed, is available everywhere. For more, visit hosier.com.
We finally switched to T-Mobile because with them, we can be connected here and there.
¡Listos todos! Estas son las mañanitas.
Now we just need to harmonize.
Switch today. Get 4 Samsung Galaxy S25 phones with Galaxy AI. Plus, get 4 lines for just $25 per line. Visit a store, T-Mobile.com, or call 1-800-T-Mobile. 1-800-T-Mobile. For well-qualified customers with auto-pay plus taxes and fees and $35 per line connection charge. Minimum 4 lines on plan. Contact us of canceling lines. Plus $5 per line without auto-pay. Debit or bank account required. Visit T-Mobile.com.
When is Kate getting here?
Should be any minute. She was on one of her Goodwill treasure hunts.
Treasure hunt? Oh, here she comes. And in an amazing new jacket.
Ready to rock, guys?
You definitely are.
Where'd you get that?
Don't you love it? I got it at Goodwill.
Kate got it at Goodwill. With hundreds of thousands of unique items arriving in-store daily, you can get it at Goodwill too. Find your convenient neighborhood location at goodwillaz.org. Nonprofit for good.
Wendy's has a huge new drink lineup. And you know what goes great with your to-do list? A little treat. And we've got one for everything on that list. The have-to-do stuff? You need a Frosty Frappe. The want-to-do stuff? Obviously a Tangerine Twist Lemon Freeze. The stuff that's been on your list for like a year? That's going to be a Sparkling Energy. And maybe a reality check? Giving your to-do list a to-drink list? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Sparkling Energy with caffeine.
With your Rome Report, what a wild official week 1 of the college football season, culminating with Bill Belichick's debut as a college head coach in North Carolina. I had no idea what to expect from the Hood in week 1, but I do know this. It could not have gone any worse than it did, especially given that it couldn't have started any better than it did as the Tar Heels went right down the field on their opening drive to take an early 7-0 lead. Unfortunately for Chapel Bill, TCU made the necessary adjustments and then proceeded to drop a 48-14 curb stomping on the GOAT. Now that was embarrassing and humiliating. You brought Michael Jordan and Lawrence Taylor in to see that? Hell, I was embarrassed and humiliated, and I've got nothing to do with the school, and I was just sitting in my living room for that hospital job. I'm not saying bringing in this guy was a mistake. I am saying that could not have gone any worse than it did. Do your job. I'm Jim Rome.
O'Reilly! Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Save big during Labor Day at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off select major appliances. Plus, buy more to get up to an additional 20% off. Shop even more savings with 3 Stay Green 1 cubic foot vegetable and flower garden soil bags for $10. This Labor Day, take care of your home for less at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location. Select locations only. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
We've got our NFC predictions coming up in about 10 minutes from now. Looking forward to that conversation. We did the AFC side yesterday. We'll do the NFC side today. We'll do our awards and Super Bowl predictions tomorrow. And then it's here. It's week 1 of the NFL season starting tomorrow night. We've got to make our picks on Friday. Early rumors and rumblings surrounding the show says no points will be allocated on Thursday night's contest. Early returns say that both of us are skipping using our...
I think we're both not going to use Thursday night football. I thought about it for a while, looking at the games today.
Thought about it.
I'm just...
Considered it.
7.5 point spread in week 1 is pretty big. And... I do think the Eagles win this game handedly.
The last thing you want to do is wager your 3-point play or your 2-point play early
on the first game
and lose and already be behind the 8 ball. Because you know what? If you do that, if you made your 3-point,
I think it changes your strategy.
Of course it does. If you picked Eagles minus 7.5 tomorrow night as your 3-point play because you're a homer and you're just going to pick the Eagles and they win by like 4, your team won. It's a loss for you. You don't feel good about it Friday.
I also just want to be very clear that I'm an Eagles fan, and that looks like a homer pick. They could beat the Cowboys by 30.
No. I agree. And if I had to pick Thursday Night Football, that's the side that I would pick. But I'm just saying, how bad does it set up Friday for you? It makes me more confident as a picker. I can take now a chance if I want with my 1-point play, right? Because I've now got a little bit of an extra cushion because you wasted your 3-point play on a loss. So that's why if you're going to go first, if you're going to pick a Thursday night game, you better be sure. You better be lock of the century. And week 1 of the regular season, I don't think anything's a lock. Week 1 of the regular season. Week 1 for the Arizona Cardinals will be in New Orleans against the Saints. I thought it was interesting, Jonathan Gannon meeting with the media earlier today, mentioning that instead of the normal 2-night stay road trip, they're opting to just be there for 1 night. So getting in on Saturday, spending the night there, and then playing Sunday, and then getting out of Dodge after the game and coming back for the start of week 2. So instead of getting there on Friday, staying there Friday night, being there all day Saturday, staying there Saturday night, playing Sunday, the Cardinals are opting for the 1-night travel day. We'll see if their science and data and analytics behind that decision pay off. But let's look at the season big picture here. Maybe for the last time that we will do this, right? Because then it'll be reacting to the week to week of it all. What's more important for the Cardinals' success this year? Is it more important to have their offense be great, or is it more important for their defense to be great? What's more vital for the success of the Arizona Cardinals in 2025? And to me, the answer may shock you, but the answer is pretty simple. What's more important to this team is their defense. And the reason why it is their defense for me, very simple fact. Maybe not a fact, maybe more of an opinion. If this offense is exactly the same from last year and the defense is better, they're a playoff team. If their offense is exactly the same as last year, but their defense is the same as last year, not a playoff team. If their defense is not as good as last year's, is just as good as last year's, and their offense is better, they still could have a tough time making the playoffs. Defense is the name of the game. Defense is the way this team wants to play. It is their identity. It is the core, the root of what they do. They run the football. They play great defense. That is their identity as a football team. That is what Jonathan Gannon wants them to be. And I know Kyler had his struggles in the second half last year and certainly had a major role in that collapse. But their defense also ran out of gas. If their offense does exactly what they did a year ago, I think that offense is good enough to sneak in as a wild card team. they need their defense to raise the floor. They need their defense to be a lot better than it was last year. So I'm paying very close attention to how this defense starts, to how this defense takes advantage of this soft stretch to start the season. Some lesser opponents to start the year. Because if they can get off to a fast, hot start, they can build that confidence, then they are going to be ready to go when they have to face Tampa late in the year, Jacksonville late in the year, Houston late in the year, Cincinnati late in the year, Stafford and the Rams late in the year. All of these good offenses with good to great quarterbacks at the end of the season. You got to have this defense clicking and firing on all cylinders if you stand a chance to win enough games in that stretch. Doesn't matter what the offense does. Offense can score points. Offense can get to 30 every week. If this defense doesn't hold up its end of the bargain, doesn't matter. The most important thing for the Cardinals this year is, can their defense raise the floor? Can their defense be consistent for 17 weeks? Their offense can make zero improvement from last year, and it's an offense that's good enough to sneak in as a wild card team. Defense isn't good enough to do that. Defense fell apart late in the season, really struggled, hit the wall, ran out of gas, whatever you want to say to describe it. They need their defense to be what it says it is on paper, and that is a top 10, top 12 defense in the league, one of the best defenses in the league. That is what they need. That is the most important thing to their success, because if the defense plays that way, they're going to be able to do whatever they want offensively. You want to control the game by running the ball, limiting the possessions? You can do that with how good your defense is. You want to limit how much you ask Kyler Murray to do to try to limit some of the turnovers, to try to play that game? You need your defense to keep you in games to be able to do that. You want James Conner and Trey Benson to be your identity on offense? You can't have a defense that puts you down 17-0 and you got to throw your way back into the game. The defense is the center of everything. It's not a throwaway line when people say defense wins championships. There's a reason for that. Your defense, especially with this head coach, is the identity of this football team. And to me, it's the more important unit going into this season.
It's always interesting when you talk about offense and defense, because I think a lot of people say it's an offensive league. Defense, more or less, kind of wins you the championship. But there's a few games that you circle and say the offense just needs to be better. In Seattle, you gave up 16 points. You lost 16-6.
That game, offense needs to be better.
And so there's a few of these. You lost 13-9 to the Rams late in the year. I mean, there's just too many games where you only gave up 20 points to the Lions in September, who at that point were smashing everybody, and you scored 13. So, yeah, the defense needs to be better, but I need to see a more consistent offense too. I need to see it. I need to see a team that late in the game can go to its best players and not be completely stagnant when they're trying to throw the ball down 7. Because whether your defense is great or not, you're going to have situations where you need a drive to win the game, and I just don't trust this team to do it.
Yeah, they're going to have chances throughout the year to prove that they can do it in those moments. But I think overall, taking the season as a whole, their identity is based on how they're going to play defensively. I think everything they do branches off of what type of defense gets off the bus Sunday mornings or Sunday afternoons. Like, to me, everything is based off of that. And there's been so much investment in dollars, in draft picks, in resources to make that group better, to make that group not just better, but a strength of this team. It's the stronger of the two groups by far, talent-wise, and what you see on paper. Now they've got to go back it up, because it is what, if the defense is shaky, it ruins the foundation and the identity of the football team. Just does. There's no foundation if the defense isn't good. So to me, the defense more important going into this upcoming season. Offense, they have their things they need to be great at. They have their things that they need to excel with. There are question marks that we have with that group. I am not saying this to give cover for the offense, that they can just be exactly what they were a year ago and everything's going to be great and they're just going to roll to a playoff spot. I think if they are the same offense that they were a year ago, they are going to have moments where they need to come through with that big drive, and those small sample sizes could be the difference between making the postseason and not making the postseason. But if they don't have an improved defense, I don't know how many chances that offense is going to get to thrive in those moments. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. Yesterday, we did the AFC side of things. Today, our NFC division by division predictions. Which 7 teams in the NFC do we have making the postseason? We'll tell you next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Phoenix, are you ready to ascend? Bring me the horizon. USA Ascension Program, Part 1.
Every sky will build, my friend.
Taking over Footprint Center, October 2nd, with special guest
Crawling from hell.
Motionless in White, The Plot in You, and Amira El Fiki. On sale now at livenation.com. Bring me the horizon. Presented by the Big Red Radio.
It's time to head back to school and forward to your future with Carrington College. For over 55 years, we've helped train the next generation of healthcare professionals. Apply now to get hands-on training from teachers with real-world experience. In as few as 9 months, you could start making a difference in healthcare. Classes start soon in Phoenix, Glendale, Mesa, and Tucson. Visit carrington.edu to see what's next for you. Visit carrington.edu/SCI for information on program outcomes.
At Sprouts, you'll find healthy around every corner and tasty on every shelf. And you know what's even more delicious? With our new Sprouts Rewards, you can earn points, explore member-only perks and personalized offers, and enjoy savings. Download the Sprouts app to join today.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Live the horror at Universal Studios Hollywood Halloween Horror Nights. Select nights September 4th to November 2nd. Face your fears in post-apocalyptic LA and a haunted house based on the hit show Fallout. Don't fall victim to Art the Clown inside a grisly Terrifier haunted house like nothing you've seen before. And that's only 2 of 8 terrifying haunted houses. Grab your tickets now at universalstudioshollywood.com/Halloween. Event not recommended for children under 13.
Hi, Luis Gonzalez here. Want to bet? Feel the thrill of Casino Arizona with 1,400 of the hottest slots and nonstop table game action. We make winners, no experience necessary. Join us for the best bingo in the valley with daily sessions. Indulge in all-you-can-eat Eagles Buffet or enjoy fine dining experience at the award-winning Choya Steakhouse. Enjoy top-notch local entertainment, tribute bands, and viewing parties at CAZ Sports Bar, just off the 101 in McKellips. Casino Arizona, uniquely Arizona.
Jack here. My bonus Jack combo starting at $3.99 comes with fries, a drink, and a burger with 1, 2, or 3 patties. It's a meal that'll actually make you happy. Starting at $3.99. Get so much more.
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Plus tax. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
You've seen Shador. We've all seen him. He's, kind of everybody gravitates toward him.
He's got aura.
There we go. Thank you, as the young kids say. He's just there doing his job. He shows up early. He stays late. He's not posting it on social media to post it on social media to say, look at me. What you see is when he shows up to a neighborhood in which just got burned down, the apartment complex, and he sets up food trucks. I can't wait to see what happens for him, and I think that they have a good foundation for the future.
It's James Out West, every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m., right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Over under 2 buy or sells that we do in the next segment based on where we're at going into the end of hour number 1. We got very animated about Torey Lovello and Jordan Lawlar not playing.
It's going to be probably 2.
It has set us off course here for the rest of hour number 1 of the show. Welcome back into the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you, producer Evan on the other side of the glass. Time to make our NFC predictions. We did the AFC ones yesterday. If you missed those, you want to catch anything that you missed from the program, just check out the podcast feed, search The Lunch Break wherever you get your podcasts. Same rules as yesterday? You want to go east to west?
Yeah. I had it lined up same way, east, north, south, west. Do you want me to start?
I would love for you to start.
Figured I'll start with my division. The NFC East, going to take Philadelphia to win the division. I just think that they have too much talent. Washington I like in second, even though I do think that they will have a worse year than they had last year. Schedule's just harder. Sophomore slump maybe for Jaden. And they do have the oldest roster in football. I think those are real things. I actually have the Giants finishing third. I think that pass rush is a problem. I think it'll win them some games that they shouldn't. And then in the basement of the division, I have Dallas, but that's a coin flip between New York and Dallas finishing at the bottom.
I see it the same way. I've got Eagles, Commanders, Giants, Cowboys. And the reason why I'm putting the Giants over the Cowboys is I don't know what the Cowboys do well anymore. The one thing they did well was they had Micah Parsons. I don't know if they're well coached. I have a major question mark about that. They certainly don't run the football well. I don't think they want to live in a world where they pass the football 40 to 50 times a game and ask their defense to bail them out. Their defense isn't special. I've got way too many question marks. The Giants, they've got a floor. It's not a high floor, but they have a floor. I know what Russ is as a quarterback. I know what he's going to be able to give you at this stage of his career. I know what Brian Daboll is as a coach, and I know he's just jonesing to get Jackson Dart in there, and that change may happen sooner than maybe most of us thought. You mentioned the pass rush. Thibodeau, Burns, Abdul Carter, really solid up front, rotating those guys
I mean,
through.
it really could be the best unit in football.
Absolutely could
right?
make a case.
That's a important big five position that we talk about.
One of the five pillars.
One of the five pillars, and they're really good at it. One of the best teams in the league at it. So it's hard not to see them winning a few games they maybe shouldn't.
The NFC North, I've got Packers, Lions, Vikings, Bears.
Yeah, I see it the same way. I really like the Packers this year. Obviously, adding Micah Parsons is huge. But in general, I think I would have taken them anyway. It feels like it's kind of the Packers' year to take that next step forward. Detroit, I just don't see it without Ben Johnson.
I'm a little worried of
especially early in the year.
A slow start with both coordinators being gone and trying to find your footing with new voices, new play callers, just kind of finding that same stability that you had with those guys. Again, I believe in the coaches that they have, and I believe in Dan Campbell as a head coach, but you got a lot of change in one offseason. It's going to take a little bit to kind of steady the waters in Detroit. They'll get there. It just may take a little bit, and in a division that I don't think is going to have a large margin for error, that to me is the difference.
And Minneapolis and Chicago kind of sit in that same conversation for me. I don't know if they do for you. I could see them being very good.
Yes.
I can't put that stock in those quarterbacks right now. You know, JJ really is kind of coming in almost as a rookie, and I believe in their weapons, and I believe in the coach and everything. He may be the best situation that a quarterback has ever been thrown into. And Chicago, I'm a believer in Ben Johnson. Just he is a rookie head coach. Caleb didn't look great last year. Those are concerns. I can see them, both teams being good. I just have to have them towards the bottom of the division, given where the other two teams are.
NFC South.
The NFC South, I see it Tampa, Carolina, Atlanta, and New Orleans. New Orleans, I really don't like. Atlanta and Carolina, to me, they're the same team. Just kind of an 8-9, 9-8 team max. At Carolina, what people don't understand is they were horrible defensively last year. They got better defensively, and they were one of the best running teams in all of football. I add that in with, I thought Bryce was really, really good at the end of the year. I think if they continue that up, I really see a team that can win 8 to 9 games. Tampa, to me, is just the pinnacle of this division, and we'll win it again.
I apologize to everybody. I didn't have the NFL music going. Shame on me.
Oh, my gosh.
As we restart the whole segment. This is going to surprise you. I'm glad you're sitting down for this one. I see the NFC South exactly the same way you do. I have the Panthers in second place. Bucks, Panthers, Falcons, Saints. My reasoning is just I'm not excited about Michael Penix Jr. under center in Atlanta. Not.
I thought they reached on him when they picked him.
Of course they did.
And that's a shame because you try never to hold that against the player because just because a player got drafted where they shouldn't, it's not their fault. It's just another kind of example of malpractice from Atlanta, and they just never seem to get out of their own way. I'm taking Carolina. That's kind of the only thing. I until Atlanta proves it to me, I just don't see it.
The NFC West, I have the Cardinals winning the division. I have the Rams finishing second, 49ers third, the Seahawks finishing in fourth.
You ready? You sitting down? I got the Cardinals in first, the Seahawks second, the Rams third, and the Niners in fourth.
So you're big on the Seahawks this year. A lot of Seahawks stock for you.
A lot of Seahawks stock.
Your 7 playoff teams.
My 7 playoff teams in the NFC. Philadelphia gets in, Green Bay, Tampa, Arizona as my division winners.
Same for me. So we have the same 4 there.
Detroit gets in.
Same here.
Seattle gets in.
I don't have that.
I knew you wouldn't have that. And my last one is Minnesota gets in as the 7th seed.
Eagles, Packers, Bucks, Cardinals. We have the same 4 division winners. My 3 wild card teams, the Washington Commanders, the Detroit Lions, and J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings getting in as that last playoff team. I'm a big believer in Kevin O'Connell.
I think we both are.
This show loves Kevin O'Connell, and I just think he's going to be able to do a great job getting the most out of his young quarterback in his first year starting, and they're going to do enough to get in.
And you had Washington in there?
I did, yes.
Yeah. I think they're going to be a coin flip. I think they're going to be fighting for that 7th seed.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a battle royale for that last and final spot in the NFC. When we come back, wrapping up hour number 1 here of the program, a little buy or sell, the hottest takes in sports talk radio. Producer Evan has them. He'll give them to us next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters and we kept signing people to contracts and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Nitro Circus is back with the all-new Off the Rails Tour. World-class daredevils and FMX, BMX, skate scooter, and more. Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, and never-been-done showdowns. Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. However, if left untreated, could lead to costly repairs. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage door is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repair. From simple repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. We fix garage doors fast and with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Our springs, rollers, and openers are tested by running them up and down, open and closed, all day, 24/7, so you can feel confident with every A1 garage door repair. Replacing the bottom rubber on your garage door can have a huge impact on the number of bugs you see in your garage and in your home. Keep those creepy crawlers outside by calling A1 Garage Door Service today and receive the best service, best parts, and best warranty in the industry.
A1Garage.com, A1 from day one.
Call today and take advantage of our $29.95 tune-up special.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lerner Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
This fall, choose Primavera Online, and you'll be choosing a school with flexibility, personalized support, and an award-winning curriculum that's over 20 years strong. Now enrolling grades K to 12 at ChoosePrimavera.com.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
All right, let's get right to it. Buy or sell to close up hour number 1 here of the lunch break. Thanks for joining us today. Got an update on Jordan Lawlar? What's going on yet?
Nothing. There has been nothing about Jordan Lawlar. You know what? I'm going to give you. I think he's healthy. That's an opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you're just guessing. You have no reporting behind that.
I have not heard anything, and they start. So I think he's healthy.
Is that a buy? Is that our first buy or sell? You're asking me to buy or sell?
Yeah. Buy or sell, is Jordan Lawlar healthy?
I tend to think that he's fine. But I don't know. I'm not in the room, so I would buy. Yeah. It would be a soft buy from me.
Okay.
For that one.
Well, then let's get right into the next one. Today was the breaking point, and you have to fire Torres.
I mean, it's my breaking point. I think many of you out there hit your breaking point well before I did, but this would be my breaking point. If Jordan Lawlar is healthy, nothing wrong with him, and he's just not in the lineup because of matchups after a multi-hit game last night, yes, today, September 3rd, 2025, is my breaking point. New manager, please.
It's more likely that the NFC West has 2 teams that make the playoffs than 2 NFC East teams making the playoffs.
We both think the Eagles and Cardinals are going to win the division. So now you're talking Commanders.
So now you get to Commanders, or really for you, it's going to be the Rams or San Francisco if they have a better year. For me, I think Seattle's going to be solid. I know I'm higher on them than most.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly more teams in the West that you think can be good, right? Like the Giants and the Cowboys, I don't think are going to be very good. I think the Seahawks...
I think you have more, names in the bucket in the West than you do in the East.
Correct. I have more pathways to get there, right? If you're getting all political, the map to 270, I got more ways I think I can get to the magic number. You didn't like that analogy?
No, it's just funny.
It's a great analogy.
It is.
I'm John King at the big board for CNN pushing states.
It's just funny.
Just change colors to see
Steve Kornacki?
I'm a John King over Steve Kornacki guy, but yes, Kornacki's also very good at what he does. More pathways to get teams to the playoffs. Yes, the NFC West over the NFC East.
So we're buying that.
I will buy that one.
The Lions will take a large step backwards without Ben Johnson.
The Lions will take a large step backwards without Ben Johnson. I may be more worried about their defense, to be honest with you.
Interesting.
Aaron Glenn did a lot for them defensively, schematically. They had a lot of injuries last year. They were still really good on that side of the ball, kept them in some games. I'm more worried about that than I am the offense. So I will sell this take.
So you're going to sell it. What if you were to have to give me – because the the defense was not good at the end of the year, and I know they weren't healthy, but they weren't good.
Towards the end of the year, I think they just ran out of gas, yes.
Yeah.
But the middle chunk of the season –
they were good.
I mean, they were – there was a stretch where they didn't have basically anybody, and they were still only giving up, 17 points a game. They were really solid in the middle chunk of the year.
Yeah. It's more likely that the Giants will make the last playoff spot rather than the Reds. Looking at both teams.
So
the Giants are now tied with the Reds, 5 games back.
Yeah.
Have won 9 of their last 10 on a 3-game win streak right now.
I know. They played the Rockies last night. Let's just relax. Let's just easy, everybody.
I'm asking you to pick. You got Reds.
I'll take the
Giants.
Reds. I still like the Reds pitching staff more than I like the Giants pitching staff. Pitching is going to matter a lot for this.
And you don't think that Rafael Devers heating up here?
Well, I mean, he's going to cause fights everywhere he goes.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
I maybe we save it for the leftovers, but we're talking about it now. So I watched the video from the side angle. Devers didn't really do anything.
I was very confused.
I mean, the bat flip was
a lot,
and he watched it. But it was,
that's just baseball today.
Right. I didn't see anything that was out of bounds for what today's baseball looks like. I don't know why Freeland lost his mind. Absolutely lost his composure. I did not get that. Also, if you don't want that to happen, let me make a suggestion to you. Don't let Rafael Devers hit the home run. I've never understood pitchers who get upset. If you don't want that to happen, you have a lot of control in this. Just don't let that happen.
I feel like Mad Bum used to be the king of that.
He used to hate. He got mad.
Max
Muncy, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, dude, just don't give up the
Don't
home run.
up the home run. Yeah.
Hour number 1 of the program in the books. Hour number 2 right around the corner. Thanks for hanging out with us today. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. This hour's program is brought to you by Bet365. Football is back. Get ready for the season at Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Kick off your weekend with Rising, rivals, and unbeatable deals. Phoenix Rising takes on Las Vegas Lights FC on Friday, September 5th at 7:30 p.m. And $1 beers are flowing all night long. This is the match fans wait for. High energy, big moments, and a crowd that brings the heat. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours now at phxrisingfc.com. Friday Night Lights, fierce rivalry, cold drinks. Don't miss it.
Brian Adams, Roll with the Punches Tour 2025. A night full of hits, live at PHX Arena, Saturday, November 15th. With special guest Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Ooh, Del Taco? Yep, they got these new boxes that are loaded with my faves.
Big boxes, come on, can I get a Del, yeah?
Del, yeah. What was that? Oh, I bring these guys everywhere. Really enhances the experience.
Del Taco's L Big Boxes now come with bigger burritos. Try the $5 Classico, $7 Mex Faves, and $9 Amerimex box. More food, more flavor, more value. Only at Del Taco.
Del, yeah. Price of participation may vary.
Hey, it's Austin Clark, owner of Moxie Pest Control. You know, most pest control companies use the same products we do. That's not the difference. But what is the difference is how we treat people. At Moxie, kindness counts, and it shows in every visit, every conversation, and every one of the 6,500 plus 5-star Google reviews our customers have written. Our field experts aren't just trained to handle pests. They're trained to treat your home, your family, your pets, and your time with the kind of respect you deserve. And our services come with a pest-free guarantee. Our methods and service just work better because our people are better. So if you want a pest control company you can trust in and around your home, give us a call. We offer same-day services in most cases, and we'll even give you 50% off your first service when you call. Call 888-MOXIE-10. That's 888-MOXIE-10. Moxie Pest Control, the highest and most reviewed pest control company in Arizona.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
ASU getting ready. Big matchup over the weekend, Mississippi State. They were practicing yesterday with cowbells going off all throughout practice to prepare them for the environment. There is nothing like college football. That's not a headline in any other sport.
No.
Other than college football.
No.
That you have to practice. And I saw a video of just staffers just walking around practice, just
I saw
ringing cowbells.
A grad assistant right up to Ben Coleman, the center receiver, ringing cowbells as he snapped
Did
it.
you hear Sam Levitt after practice talking about it?
No.
He said he didn't mind any of the other noise. That bothered him because the center couldn't hear his cadence, couldn't hear what he was trying to do. So that bothered him. But you have to prepare for the environment you're going to be in. And when looking at this season, this was one of the games I circled on the calendar. And what I said about this game, and I think producer Evan kind of pushed back a little bit on this because you pointed to some bigger matchups within the Big 12. But I said this is a road game early in the year against an SEC team. And coming off of the year that you had last year, there are going to be expectations that you can go in there and you can throw your weight around and show that you belong. And if you slip up here, if you lose this game, yeah, you're right. It doesn't hurt you for the Big 12 championship, but it may hurt your perception nationally. It may hurt your perception of what really the expectations this year for this team could be. And so that's why I circled this game as an early test for them to show us all last year was not a fluke. We can go into an SEC town and we can take care of business. And they don't need to blow them out, but we can go in there, we can win that game, and we can show you we belong. Coming out of last weekend, you have some concerns. Not full-blown panic, not this season's not going to go where we want it to go, but just some legitimate concerns about some issues that popped up in that game that could rear their ugly head at some point. You cannot commit that many penalties and expect to win against a team like Mississippi State. You won't be able to get away with that. Could you imagine if they committed that many penalties against the TCU team that we saw the other night against UNC? Could you imagine if they commit that many penalties against Texas Tech or Utah later on in the season? They'll get blown out. They won't even be competitive in these games. And so you have to correct these issues while they're just minor issues before they become actual worries where week in and week out, when we're previewing these games, we're like, oh, got it. Are they going to clean up the penalties this week? They haven't for the last 4 weeks. You have to make sure this is a 1 week blip. And so when Kenny Dillingham yesterday in meeting with the media made the comment that these issues that they faced coming out of the NAU game are all correctable, he's right. He's right that they are all correctable. He's right that not committing the procedural penalties is something that they can fix. Not committing those roughing the passers is just discipline. They can fix those things. Those things are coachable, they're fixable, they're correctable, to use Kenny's word. This isn't a conversation where, man, we really struggled against NAU because the quarterback play just it doesn't match up with the rest of the Big 12, and we're going to always walk into these matchups losing the quarterback battle. And we just don't have the right talent in the running back room. Nobody worries about the talent level for this team really anywhere. They're going to walk into almost every matchup they play and on paper be just as talented, in some cases be more talented than the teams that they are facing. This isn't a recruitment issue. This isn't man, we got to wait for this commit to come in next year. It's going to fix everything. This is can you be more disciplined? Can you not commit stupid penalties that not only hurt your big play ability, but extend drives for the opposition?
I will tell you where I am concerned about talent, and that's on the offensive line. And that's just because already it feels as if you're reaching back into the depths of what you have. Like, you need to be deep at the offensive line, and that was a huge question mark last year for this team. And already they had 3 guys go down in the first game, and it looks like Ben Coleman will play. But it's becoming a concern is if you lose offensive linemen, they didn't look great against NAU. Like, there's just no sugarcoating that. How deep can they go and still protect the quarterback?
And it's not just a talent issue, right? I think there's also an argument that group in particular, you need consistency. You need continuity. If you are constantly moving guys in and out, oh, this week the left tackle's out. Oh, next week it's the right tackle, but the left tackle's back in. Or, oh, we got to move our centers this week, but the 2 tackles are back. Part of being a great offensive line is that you commit to what you are supposed to do in your spot because you trust the guys to either your left or your right, in some cases to both flanks, that you trust your partners. And if guys are constantly shuffling in and out, it's hard to build that trust. It's hard to build that continuity. So you're right. I'm not so much worried about it from a talent perspective because I think the recruiting's been very good across the board since Kenny has gotten here. But I worry about, I've got a new guy coming in. He doesn't know the tendencies of the guy to his left or the guy to his right, and they just have to work. And I don't want to work through that against Texas Tech. I don't want to work through that against TCU or Utah or Baylor or in the Big 12 title game against an Iowa State. I don't want to have to work through those issues in a big spot in a big game. Those are things that worry me.
That is certainly a major concern. I will be honest, and this is the first time I've kind of asked this about Kenny. I thought the lack of in-game adjustments on Saturday was a problem.
Again, correctable. again, fixable. What Kenny said isn't untrue. All of these things are fixable. All of these things can be changed. They could have a game this week where they don't commit a single penalty, and it wouldn't surprise me. You're disciplined. You take
not a single one would surprise me.
You understand the larger point that I'm making, that some of the procedural stuff, you can clean that up. The discipline of not hitting a quarterback after he's made the throw and he's going out of bounds, you can teach and coach to make sure that play doesn't happen. And you have to hold the players accountable. If this continues into this week where they're committing a bunch of penalties, once, I'll give you, once can be a coincidence. Once can be a one-off. You do it 2 weeks in a row, you have double-digit penalties on the road in Mississippi State, and you still find a way to win. Major concern for me. The 2 weeks in a row, double-digit penalties. You're just going to, at some point, it's going to come back to haunt you. The chickens are going to come home to roost. You can't live that way every single week. You can't, any level of football. What's a coach going to tell you? We can't commit dumb penalties. We can't extend drives. We can't take away our big plays because somebody was holding. You can't do that stuff. You have to clean that stuff up. Kenny is right that it is correctable, but I got to see it be corrected. I got to see a week this week against Mississippi State where you go on the road, your first road game of the year, you're prepared, you're ready to go, and your guys, you held them accountable throughout the week for all of their issues, and we see a noticeable difference. That's what I need to believe you when you say that these things are correctable, that these things are fixable. I got to see the fix. Because after a while, we go week 2, week 3, week 4, we get into October, November, and this is still a problem. Well, at some point now it's not correctable because you're not fixing it. At some point, it's a part of who you are as a team, and you're not holding the team accountable in the right way. And now what you're telling me is just words. The actions don't line up. The actions don't match. So yes, correctable, but it is a worry for me going into this week.
It is, and it is similar to the Diamondback situation, right? If you let these early little problems linger and don't address them and they don't get better, it becomes a more prominent issue in what your team is.
At the beginning of the year, we were all talking about third base coach, Shane Larkin.
It took him till end of August to make that change.
Could you imagine if this was a team that was still in a playoff race and they were actively being cost games because of that? You wouldn't stand for it. You wouldn't allow it to continue. You have to fix a problem before it becomes a major issue, a major concern. I mean, how many times throughout the year or throughout a college football season do you get towards the tail end and you have a team that just hasn't fixed their penalty problem all year? And it is a talking point any game they play. They just got to get those penalties under control. That's the big stat that you want to look for. Can they be disciplined? Discipline is one of the things that the later you get into the year, you're not going to all of a sudden find that. At some point, you are what you are. It's early enough in the season for those things to be fixed. We get to October, we get to November, and we're still having a conversation about discipline. We're still having a conversation about these penalties. I don't know how fixable it is at that point.
Doesn't feel fixable at all, right? But if you get to 4 games in and they're committing 10 to 12 penalties a game, guess what? You are an undisciplined football team. You just are.
And I don't think you're fixing that.
And once because at some point, when you play 4, 5 games, does it get acceptable? It's acceptable in your culture if you're not being held accountable, right? It's like anything. It becomes, okay, well, we can get away with that. And that's when you start to get really concerned. This is all hypothetical. They committed 12 penalties.
In one game to start the year. All of the caveats for the reason why this won't be a thing this week apply.
And I just want to make it very clear, in Kenny Dillingham's era, they've never committed more than 9 until this week. So yes, it was a problem. It was game 1 of what is supposed to be an exciting year. And some of those were delay of game penalties that were, hey, maybe a little ticky-tack on whether they should have moved that clock up after an illegal man downfield that for the life of me, I will never understand why we had somebody downfield. It was not an RPO. So many things that were mental instead of physical. So those things can be cleaned up. It wasn't holding penalties over and over again. You had a couple of illegal man downfield, which is just that's a game, part of the game that can be taught, and they're going to be looking for that a lot this year because in college football, they tend to let that kind of slide.
I am not worried yet. I would put my worry at like 2 or 3 out of 10 of how worried I am about this.
Let me ask you this. I came into the season on a worry meter, probably a 2, maybe a 3, just on other things that could happen. Have you changed at all on your worry meter?
No, I think that the worry meter is still the same.
I think it's the same.
Right now it is.
Because I think if they had come out and there was glaring issues like, okay, maybe Jordan Tyson isn't the player we thought he is, or maybe Sam Levitt isn't as great as we thought, or if those were major questions, then it would have changed my worry meter. But, I mean, the players we knew were going to be great were pretty great in the first game.
Yes, and I think if we come in here on Monday and we're breaking down another performance where they committed a bunch of penalties, I think I would be willing to move my number up a little bit. But if we come in here on Monday and we're talking about a team that took care of business, they cleaned that stuff up, then I think the worry meter would stay exactly where it is. I wouldn't make
the same worries that I would have
still
coming
apply.
into the season
Yes,
still apply.
They still all apply. But Kenny says they're correctable. I agree with him for right now. They are correctable in the early start of the season. The later we get, the harder it becomes to correct those things. Discipline is harder to put into place the longer this stuff goes. So you have to hope it's just a 1-week blip. You brought up the numbers. This is a 1-week blip when you look at Kenny's entire career here at ASU. But you have to make sure you don't want to get to the end of the year and say, man, the reason why ASU didn't go to the college football playoff and they didn't go back to the Big 12 title game is because they committed too many penalties. That's not an acceptable excuse for the reason why the season fails. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the show. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. John was trolling us during Buy or Sell, saying that they're saving Jordan Lawlar for a big pinch hit appearance. Diamondbacks get underway here in about 20 minutes. Well, I'm still awaiting word as to why Jordan Lawlar isn't in the lineup today. Maybe at some point we'll get an answer on that. It's Wednesday, which means we've got a list, top 5 list. And since it's right before week 1 of the NFL season, why don't we do our top 5 quarterbacks entering 2025?
I imagine our list is going to be similar.
I don't think so. I think we'll have a different number 1.
I don't think we will.
Okay. Well, guess what? We'll find out next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Ben DiNucci, NFL quarterback. I'm still going to introduce you as NFL quarterback. Being on the practice squad, what's the difference in how you're treated, lifestyle?
Honestly, nothing's different. I mean, there's 53 guys on the active roster and there's 16 on the practice squad. And the reality of the NFL is that guys are going to get hurt. There's a reason that these teams put a lot of effort into the practice squad, just like they do the active roster. It's really all the same. You're still traveling with the team. The pay cut's a little bit less, but at the end of the day, it's still great.
Live Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS 1060 app.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
Make memories you'll cherish for years to come. Join Miss Appleberry, JJ, Cody, Nina, and Cece for a lively Melon Patch musical adventure in this exciting interactive live show. Saturday, October 4th and Sunday, October 5th at the Arizona State Fair. Sing along. Dance along. Play together. Tickets on sale now at azstatefair.com and include Arizona State Fair admission. It's a celebration of connection and childhood wonder. Coco Melon Sing Along Live inside the Coliseum at the Arizona State Fair.
Hi, I'm Andrew the Homebuyer. Selling your house right now the traditional way isn't so easy. The average home is taking months to sell. Fortunately, I can help. I'll come to your home and give you a cash offer within minutes. Then we can close in under 5 days. and I'll make sure you get as much money for your house as possible. Call me, Andrew the Homebuyer, today, and let's get your home sold. Visit AndrewTheHomebuyer.com. That's AndrewTheHomebuyer.com.
There are a million reasons to smile, a million reasons to laugh. And now the Arizona Lottery is giving you a million reasons to play. Because when you play Strike It Rich, all cash or any scratchers worth $10 or more, you can enter the $1 million Mega Market giveaway for a chance to win an all-expense paid Las Vegas vacation and up to $1 million. Learn more at ArizonaLottery.com. Arizona Lottery. Love the play.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. The Bears and their GM, Ryan Poles, have taken plenty of heat for their inability to consistently put a winning product on the field. And yes, some of the criticism is valid. But to fully understand where the Bears are now, you have to remember where they started. Poles took over in 2022. Chicago had the most dead cap space in the NFL, a crippling number that made roster building nearly impossible. Fast forward to 2025, and the picture looks very different. The Bears now boast what was once considered a generational quarterback prospect, a retooled offensive line, and a collection of promising young weapons. On top of that, they flipped the script financially, owning the least amount of dead cap in the league. Pair all of that together with a new head coach, praised for his innovative offensive approach, and the foundation finally looks stable. There have been misses and setbacks, no doubt. But when you compare 2022 to today, the Bears have come a long, long way. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. High-quality meat, unbeatable freshness, a family-style commitment to care. That's the Heartland difference. Always flash frozen for peak freshness. Go to heartlandsteakco.com, delivered right to your doorstep. Get 2 ribeyes on me with a purchase of $150 or more. Use the promo code football25. Heartland Steak Company, your one-stop shop for straight-to-your-door Midwest meat. Our newest sponsor, you're going to taste the Heartland difference at heartlandsteakco.com. The problem with most security systems is they only take action when somebody breaks in. That's too late. Simply Safe is different. It's designed to be proactive, not reactive. With Active Guard outdoor protection, smart AI-powered cameras identify threats lurking and immediately alert monitoring agents. Get 50% off your new Simply Safe system at simplysafedan.com. Visit simplysafedan.com. Be proactive, not reactive. And remember, there is no safe like Simply Safe.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Top 5 list on a Wednesday. Our top 5 quarterbacks entering the 2025 season. Got any HMs for this list?
Yeah, I'll give you an HM.
I have 3.
Okay. I'll give you the guys I think. I think Matthew Stafford, when healthy, is an HM.
One of my HMs, yes.
I think, see, this next guy could be on your list, but I'll give him Jaden Daniels an HM. I just think 1 year in, it's too early to put him on the list. And I think he's behind Stafford. And then my next one might be interesting for you. It's Jared Goff as an HM.
Jared Goff, not an HM for me. 3 HMs, Matt Stafford, Jordan Love.
Good one.
Justin Herbert, part of my HMs. I knew I wasn't going to
win a playoff game.
Yeah, I knew support wasn't going to come from you on the Justin Herbert HM.
Yep, and it shouldn't. It shouldn't. The biggest games of his life, he's always come up small. Opportunity to make the playoffs in college, they lost to Arizona State. Opportunity to make the playoffs, just got to beat the Raiders, they lost. 2 playoff games. What did they blow, a 27-point lead to Jacksonville? And then the other one, he was, and I mean this, do you remember Jennings from SMU? Kevin Jennings was the quarterback who started at Penn State for SMU last year. That was the worst quarterback performance I've ever seen in a playoff game. which is just slightly beat out Justin Herbert's at Houston, which was really, really bad. Really bad.
You done?
Yeah.
You just were rolling. I was
getting
out of the way.
Yep. I apologize.
No, you don't need to apologize. I just want to make sure you got everything off your chest. That felt very like you've had that ready to go for a little bit. And I want to make sure you get it all out before Justin Herbert proves that he's a top 8 quarterback in the league this year. Because that's where I have him. I have him 8 on my list.
Which feels fair,
right.
honestly.
I didn't say he was a top 3 quarterback.
Yeah.
I had him 8.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
the third HM, and that sparked you just absolutely going chapter and verse.
I think I would rather have Goff right now. Give me a 2-minute drill. I think I'd rather have Goff.
That's a fair opinion. You didn't have to slander the man's entire football career in order to do it. You could just say, hey, Jared Goff's done it more at the end level. Yeah. I'd like Jared Goff.
I understand, and I apologize to Justin Herbert.
You're talking about random quarterbacks from Penn State or what? I got so lost in what you were doing there.
I got a little tripped up. I was going worst playoff performances I've ever seen across any sport. And the SMU quarterback who played Penn State is where I was trying to go with that. He was horrible. I don't know if you watched that game. And that was comparable to Justin Herbert.
Okay, that's what you were trying to
worked
get
in my
to.
head as
You were a little amped up.
Yeah, as I tried to explain it, it really didn't come out clean.
Listen, it happens to us all. We're very animated. We're very excited, and the words don't.
I've been amped up all day. Jordan Lawler's not in the lineup today.
That really got us going to start today, and I don't think we've ever really recovered from it. Okay, you want to start?
I will start. My number 5, the defending Super Bowl champion, Jalen Hurts. Listen, winning matters.
It does matter.
You've been to 2 Super Bowls. He's played his best 2 games in 2 different Super Bowls. I think people forget about his 2022 season where he was an MVP candidate, an Offensive Player of the Year candidate, and ran one of the most efficient offenses in the league. I just think people forget about that. And because the Eagles run the ball and have so much talent, he gets knocked down. That shouldn't be a knock on him. Winning matters, and he's the 5th best quarterback in the league.
My number 5 is a quarterback that you have deemed ineligible to be on the list because he's only done it for 1 season. But I have Jaden Daniels at number 5. Walked into Washington, and he didn't just succeed as a rookie, but he thrived as a rookie in that offense. He was a main reason they made it as far as they did, getting to the NFC title game. He took over that offense. He wasn't just a rookie game managing his way to an NFC title game. He was actively making big time plays. And you can take the Hail Mary and call that a play of luck and throw it to the side. That's fine. He took over games. The ability to escape the pocket, extend plays, the off-platform, off-schedule stuff. You're going to notice the 5 quarterbacks I have on this list all excel at doing that. They work great within structure, but they excel of when things break down, they make ridiculous things happen. Jaden Daniels is one of those 5 quarterbacks. He's at number 5.
Jaden's a guy who, you're right, everything he does feels special at moments. There's a few games that I look at and say, okay, where was it that game? They go to Philadelphia early in the year, and he kind of was bad and slow, and you take that one as a specific analogy. But, I don't see it consistently enough through 1 year. I need to see it in year 2, especially with the harder schedule. I just can't have him in the top 5, in my opinion.
And that's fine.
My number 4, the NFL MVP, Josh Allen. I have him at number 4. This top 3, actually for me, 3 through 4 or 2 through 4 is hard to order in any way. I went Josh at 4th because, listen, he's got the 1 MVP. He has a couple playoff losses. I think he's played a couple perfect games in the playoffs. It's hard to take away the game, the 13 seconds game, but Josh Allen's at 4th for me. I just like the other 3 guys a little bit more.
Everything I said about Jaden Daniels applies to this next guy when it comes to the off-schedule, off-platform stuff, right? I mean, he's great at this. He's great at changing arm angles and making throws that just baffle you. Didn't have a great year last year. And I'm starting to worry about what this looks like with the supporting cast around him starting to diminish And I'm worried that he's going to try to do more and make more mistakes because of it. He's still great. He still can win another championship. I just have more confidence in the other 3 quarterbacks on this list than this guy. I have Patrick Mahomes at number 4. Last year was a bit of a worry. And I'm concerned that Superman cape is going to come out of the closet, and with it's going to come some turnovers in some big spots.
It is so funny you did that. I was going to have him 4, and I moved him up a couple spots in this list because my argument for Hurts was winning matters. And so then I couldn't do that and then have Mahomes at 4. But listen, I totally understand having him down low. That was a really inefficient year for quarterback. Like, they were by far the most boring team to watch in football.
He's still great. They're still going to win a ton of games with him at quarterback. That's why he's number 4 on this list. The thing that allows me to separate him from the 3 guys in front of him, I don't have concerns about any of those 3 guys having a down year. I'm worried about Mahomes having another bad year. Bad for his standards.
Yeah, I agree.
We're grading on a curve here for these guys.
Certainly.
Especially with Mahomes.
My number 3, Lamar Jackson.
See, we have a totally different list.
We do.
We have an absolutely totally different list.
My number 3 is Lamar Jackson. To me, I mean, the 2-time league MVP. The guy does things every week where gets you up, gets you standing, gets you on the edge of your seat. He is so fun to watch. I know he can't get the playoff monkey off his back a little. They're going to eventually. They just will with Harbaugh. Like, that is just a fact of what's going to happen. And I'm sorry. I will sit here tooth and nail and argue he didn't. Yes, he made some bad throws in the AFC title game when they were at home. If Zay Flowers doesn't fumble on the half-yard line, they win that game.
Mark Andrews losing the ball.
Like, it's not always him. And I'm not saying he's playing perfect games. But he led the drive to tie the game in Buffalo last year. And he did it 2 years ago at home against Kansas City to go to the Super Bowl, and you fumbled on the half-yard line. So that's 2 years he's kind of been snake bitten. I think this year is the year for him.
My assumption is that my number 3 is your number 1. I have Joe Burrow at number 3.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a quarterback in the league right now whose entire team's success is dependent on how well they play. Joe Burrow, as a quarterback, has to do everything for this team to win. We know their defense isn't very good. We know they don't have the running game that they had maybe a couple years ago. We know they're going to throw the ball 40, 45 times a game. And he does it with everybody knowing that that's what they're going to do. And he just stands in that pocket and he slings it. And he is the best pure pocket passer I think the game has right now. Does he have that element of extending plays the way some of the other quarterbacks on this list has? I don't think so. He can do it. He doesn't need to do it to that extent because he wins so often in the pocket. He can dissect the defense.
I was going to say, he gets the ball out so quick.
And he gets the ball out so fast to open receivers. And it doesn't matter what's going on around the team. He's going to show up. He's going to put up big numbers. Worry about winning the big game, right? Lost in the Super Bowl. I worry about if there's going to be too much on his plate this year. But I have Joe Burrow at number 3. Again, does everything you want a quarterback to do inside the pocket.
And number 2, I have Patrick Mahomes. Listen, I said winning matters. It does. 3 Super Bowls. He's come back from 10-point deficits in all his Super Bowl wins. Do I think that losing the way they did this year is a knock? Yes. Do I think the way he played on him this year is a knock and probably why he's not number 1? Of course. But winning matters. He's won 3. He's won a league MVP. We've seen him adapt, which I think is extremely impressive. You said the Superman cape comes out of the closet. He put it away to win more and to be the team that continually goes to the Super Bowl. And one of the best things about the Chiefs is what the Seahawks never seem to grasp with the Legion of Boom. The Seahawks lost the Super Bowl with the Legion of Boom because they tried to make Russell Wilson the hero. They tried to make Russell Wilson the hero on the goal line. The Chiefs don't care. Because Patrick Mahomes is the hero if he wins. He's the quarterback. And so they beat you in so many different ways, and they don't need to run this explosive offense that they had to a few years ago. But he won with that, and he's won the other way. It just shows adaptive.
Number 2 for me, Josh Allen. There is the 2 quarterbacks that I have at number 2 and number 1. I would put in the bucket of they are nightmares for defensive coordinators.
Nightmares.
You can have the absolute perfect game plan. You can call the absolute perfect defense to beat a play. Josh Allen is still going to find a way to make a positive result. If he has to do it himself, he'll run all over the place. He's physical, right? That's the one thing he has over some of these other quarterbacks. He's a physical runner, and so he'll just run you over. He's also got one of the best deep balls. He can throw the ball all over the yard. He can win from the pocket. I think arguably he's the best off-script quarterback in the game. From a passing perspective, extending plays and then finding the guy down the field. Yeah, there's the worry about what he's done in the postseason. I'm just looking at pure quarterback talent. He is number 2 for me. Again, the off-script stuff, what he's able to do passing the football when he extends these plays. You can call the perfect defense. He's going to beat it. Doesn't matter. He's going to find a way to dissect it, or he's going to run around and make something happen.
Yeah. And listen, he probably has the worst supporting cast of this whole group, which is insane to say. My number 1 is Joe Burrow. For all the reasons you've had him at 3, I have him at 1. I think that there's probably not a smarter quarterback in all of football than Joe Burrow. I think you said winning the big one is a concern. I got no concern. I really don't. I mean, they played a Rams team that had Hall of Famers littered across the field, and they took him down to the very last second. It took a 4-minute drive to beat one of the worst defenses I've ever seen play in a Super Bowl because they got drugged there by Joe Burrow. We both have them as playoff teams. Where do you think their defense is in football? 32nd, if not 30th?
Yeah, I mean,
and we look at them as a playoff team.
Yeah, I mean, it's because of what we believe in with Joe Burrow. My number 1 quarterback is the best player in all of football. He's the number 1 player in the sport. It's Lamar Jackson. There is nobody, not even Josh Allen, that is dynamic and is the difference maker that Lamar Jackson is. Not only is he the best runner of the football in the game, that includes running backs. He is the best runner of the football in the sport. He can make anybody look like they belong back in JUCO college ball out in open space. But he's also grown and developed to be one of what? The 3 or 4 best passers in the game overall?
He's the second best runner in the sport with the football.
You want to put Saquon
I
number
don't
1?
actually. I don't.
Who do you want to put?
When healthy, Tyreek Hill when he touches the ball.
Fair enough. Both of those guys are speed-based in open space, able to break ankles. Lamar Jackson is a player at that position that is one of one. I know Josh runs the football around. There is nobody that does what Lamar Jackson does. There is nobody that can do the things that he does at that position. He is absolutely special. I think he's the best player in the sport, and he's my number 1 quarterback. Jane Daniels 5, Patrick Mahomes 4, Joe Burrow 3, Josh Allen 2, Lamar Jackson 1. You can order any of the top 4 in whatever order you want. I wouldn't argue with you.
Me, Jalen Hurts 5, Josh Allen 4, Lamar Jackson 3, Patrick Mahomes 2, Joe Burrow 1. Let me ask you a question. I got a few questions for you on your list.
Okay.
The first one, you didn't even have Jalen as an HM.
No.
So you don't think he's a top 8 quarterback?
I do not think Jalen Hurts is a top 8 quarterback in the league.
What would make him a top 8 quarterback?
I'd like to see more development in his passing game. I'd like to see more often him be able to take over a game with his passing and dissect a defense to have more of a balance. I don't mean this as a knock. By design, he falls more into a game manager, but is excellent at running the football, right? He can extend plays with his legs, and that's awesome. I just want to see more from the passing game to put him up on this list. He's
Fair.
probably 9 or 10, he's right there. But I just want to see more.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to say, well, then why is Jane Daniels up there? That's fair. I think Jane Daniels is more individually special than Jalen Hurts is.
Sure.
It is a smaller sample size that I'm basing it off of, but I think Jane Daniels does things that Jalen
will
Hurts
always
can't do.
have more team success than Jaden will in this league. just because of the player he is and Jalen's mentality and everything like that. And I always say this, in the pro comp I gave for Jalen a few years ago was early Russell Wilson. Because Russell Wilson never got credit until the team sucked. That's true. Like, nobody cared about Russell Wilson until the team sucked. And he would take them to the playoffs and lose in the first round every year. That's egregious.
And that comp is why he's not a top 8 quarterback. I would have never put Russ in the top 8 quarterbacks.
But now he's better than Russ. Now.
He is better than Russ
ever was. Period.
I would agree with that. I just don't think it's top 8 worthy. We'll agree to disagree. I need to see more. You said you had multiple questions. Was that the main one that you wanted?
The other one I had was, did you think of putting Baker Mayfield as an HM?
I
Can
honestly,
I be honest? I really thought
yes,
about it.
Yes. I considered putting him in the Herbert spot, to be honest with you.
I really did. I am so impressed on the turnaround that Baker Mayfield has made in his career. That was my next question.
No, I absolutely thought about it. And then I was like, yeah, but I probably need another year, right? Like I need one more year of that before.
It is crazy. And I think the biggest contributor for the Baker argument is, they had Tom Brady. And he was the guy who stepped in after him. They love him.
Yeah, they do. They do. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, the Diamondbacks underway now as we speak in their game against the Rangers. No Jordan Lawlar in the lineup. Not sure what's going on there. Still haven't gotten a huge update, but I do want to talk Diamondbacks when we get back. We did learn yesterday, Lourdes Gurriel, torn ACL, going to miss the remainder of this year and most of next year. And this is a bad injury for everybody. We'll talk about it next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Arizona's future depends on a skilled workforce, and that's why students don't just learn at Pima JTED, they do. From healthcare to technology and construction to design, the JTED classroom model gets high school students ready for college, a career, or both, teaching them the skills Arizona employers need right now. Discover how Pima JTED students can support your business. Learn more at PimaJTED.org. That's PimaJTED.org. This message is sponsored by Potoff Private Philanthropy.
Judas Priest and Alice Cooper.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
The metal gods, Judas Priest. The godfather of shock rock, Alice Cooper. October 22nd, Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater with special guest, Corrosion of Conformity. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Presented by 100.7 KSLX, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
Son, do you know what time it is?
Your father and I were waiting all night for you to come home.
I'm sorry. So we could tell you that you're eligible to become a member of Navy Federal Credit Union. Wait, what?
Since your dad's a veteran, our whole family can join and get exclusive savings, discounts, and award-winning service.
Thank you. Now go to your room and think about what we said. All veterans and their families are eligible. Join today. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
If you could rewind 10 years, what would you do differently? Buy Apple stock at $20? Skip the Ghost Pepper Challenge? Maybe even rethink the skinny jeans. Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Some regrets are harmless, termite damage isn't. You can't go back in time, but you can keep termites from eating your future. Call 602-BLUE-SKY today for your free termite inspection. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, pests.
Summer's here, and SRP wants to remind you that swim safety starts with W. That's right, W, as in Water Watcher. Keep pool time a good time by designating an adult who can swim and know CPR. Be sure they avoid distractions, always scan the swimming area, and ensure that the pool gate stays locked. Assigning a water watcher is a simple step to help prevent drownings and keep everyone safe around pools. To get more water safety tips, visit srp.net/pool.
We believe everyone deserves access to fresh food.
That's why the Kroger Company created the Zero Hunger, Zero Waste program to share fresh food with the people in our communities. Our program and foundations have donated 3 billion meals since 2017. That's nearly 10 meals for every person in the U.S. Together, we can do more for our neighbors. Just round up your purchase at checkout. Fry's, fresh for everyone.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
You've seen Shador. We've all seen him. He's, kind of everybody gravitates toward him.
He's got aura.
There we go. Thank you, as the young kids say. He's just there doing his job. He shows up early. He stays late. He's not posting it on social media to say, look at me. What you see is when he shows up to a neighborhood in which just got burned down, the apartment complex, and he sets up food trucks. I can't wait to see what happens for him, and I think that they have a good foundation for the future.
It's James Out West, every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m., right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. The Diamondbacks are underway right now. Game against the Texas Rangers. Keep everybody updated on that. Maybe we'll give them an update during the leftovers. We got an update yesterday on Lourdes Gurriel after the play. Blaze Alexander making a diving catch in left center field. Lourdes trying to get out of the way. Stepped weird, and it ends up looking like it's a torn ACL. He does plan on getting a second opinion, but second opinions mean you don't love what the first opinion told you, and the first opinion was that it is a torn ACL, that it will end the rest of this season and more than likely end a majority, if not all, of next season. And this is just a bad injury for everybody. It is a bad injury, first and foremost, for Lourdes Gurriel, who was having a great second half to the year, was ending his season on a high note. I thought there was a world where with the way that he was playing, he was going to opt out and get an even better contract in free agency. And now that's going to be off the table. He's not going to go anywhere. He's going to probably stick around and do all of his rehab here with the team and then hit free agency coming off of that injury, with the last time that he played being back in September of 2025. So bad for Lourdes Gurriel, who was having a great end of the year, was playing a major role for this team, was providing power in the middle of the lineup. He was having success. He's a fan favorite. You feel for him. You feel for the missed chance that he might not be able to get now, hitting free agency and cashing in on what he was doing in the second half of the year. And so you're just gutted for Lourdes Gurriel. Then from a team perspective, this is a loss of a major player in the middle of your lineup, power bat for a team that has maybe one or two other power bats in Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll. You don't have a lot of power elsewhere. Lourdes Gurriel was providing that power. Now you're not going to have that power the rest of this year. You're not going to have that power for all of next year. You have to replace that power somewhere, and it's not going to come from Lourdes Gurriel. It's a huge hole that now gets added to the list of things that Mike Hazen and company need to address this offseason. Then there's the other issue, and the issue is this is more money that's now going to sit on the injured list next season for this team, along with Corbin Burns and all of his money, along with Justin Martinez and the money that he's owed, and the money that AJ Puck is going to be owed in arbitration. A lot of money going to be sitting on the IL next year for a team whose budget we all know is coming down next year. So you're going to have limited resources compared to this year in 2026. And on top of it, you're going to have a large chunk of that money be tied up in players that aren't going to be able to help you. The Diamondbacks are going to really show off their organizational chops this winter. They're going to show off their player development chops this winter. We'll see how healthy this farm system really is. We'll get a very up close and personal look to see if the development of some young players, the acquisition of players at the deadline, were good ones. Because they're going to be relying on a lot of young pieces. This is why Blaze Alexander needs to play every day. I'd start playing him in left field to see if he could be my starting left fielder. This is why Jordan Lawlar needs to play every day. The more certainties that you have in your lineup, the easier of a job it becomes for Mike Hayes in this offseason to fill all of the other holes. We've told you, 2 starters. Going to need some bullpen arms. Might need a first baseman. You certainly need a left fielder now. You need a power-hitting DH. A lot of areas that this team needs to address. Not going to be able to address them all in free agency, not with the limited budget that they are going to have and the money that's already tied up in players that are not playing for them. They don't have a lot of wiggle room. There's not a lot of excess cash that's going to be laying around for Mike Hazen to spend. They're going to have to use some Band-Aids. They're going to have to use some duct tape. And they're going to have to hope some of these young players are ready to capitalize on some opportunities. This injury sucks for everybody. Sucks for Lourdes Gurriel. Sucks for the team. Sucks for the organization. Sucks for the fans. This is a bad injury for everybody. You lost the rest of this year, and you lost all of 2026, and now you have to fill that left field hole. You're going to pay Lourdes Gurriel, and you're not going to be able to use any of that money someplace else. Just an injury that hurts for everybody. Gutted when I saw the news yesterday. Gutted for a player who was having such a great finish to the year.
It's so sad for him because there was a serious conversation of him opting out.
Because of how well he was playing.
Of how well he was playing. And that sucks. That really sucks. And then for the Diamondbacks, already we know that payroll is going to be coming back. And to have more of that now on the IR, just what can you do?
It's just another unfortunate break for this team injury-wise. I mean, they've just been hit all year long, and this is another one, and now it's going to carry over into 2026. Just sucks, and it's going to create some more hard work for Mike Hazen and this entire front office to try to put together a team in 2026. Just makes their job all that more difficult. We've got one more before we are out of here today on the Wednesday edition of the program. It's all the stories we didn't get to. We call it the leftovers. We'll get to them next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters and we kept signing people to contracts and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
High-flying tricks, heart-pounding excitement. Nitro Circus is back. The all-new off-the-rails tour. Gravity-defying thrill seekers and world-class daredevils at the top of their game. FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and everything in between. Experience all new competitions that pit the best against the best in never-been-done showdowns. Nitro Circus. Friday, December 5th. Desert Diamond Arena. Join the action at Ticketmaster.com.
Are you ready to score big with your finances? Right now, get $350 for opening a new MidFirst checking account. Just visit a branch near you or go online. Plus, register your MidFirst debit or credit card and enter to win a $1,500 shopping spree. No purchase necessary. The clock's ticking, so don't wait. Win big this season with MidFirst Bank. Visit midfirst.com for details. MidFirst Bank. True to you. Member FDIC.
Every day begins with the promise of something new. A new perspective, a fresh start. At Banner Health, right here, right now, we're pioneering new ways to treat cancer with our own immune systems. We're among the first to treat Parkinson's with the patient's own cells. And we're a world leader in artificial heart implantation. All while training over 1,300 doctors every year. Impressive, right? It's just another Banner day. Banner Health.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
The leftovers, all the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of the program. Producer Evan has them. I'm hoping that there is a story that made it in there because I've been waiting to talk about it all day here on the show. Hoping that it's in there, but it's this is your segment. I don't have any.
No, give me the story.
Editorial,
because now I'm nervous it's not in there.
I mean, are we going to talk about Kawhi Leonard and the Los Angeles Clippers?
So yeah, we have to talk about Kawhi Leonard and the Los Angeles Clippers.
I highly recommend the Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast. It is excellent.
It really is. I hadn't listened to it much, honestly, until very recently. I mean, he does such a great job.
He's an incredible journalist. He does a great job uncovering these things. He does a great job presenting it. The people that he brings in to talk. There's a great series on the NFLPA and everything that was going on there that he had Mike Florio on. It was great. It was like 3 or 4 episodes. It was really great. This one was fantastic, and it uncovered potentially, allegedly, some interesting things going on with Kawhi Leonard and the Los Angeles Clippers and a company that paid Kawhi Leonard for an endorsement that he never actually endorsed anything and got an extra $28 million for it. And the company received money from Steve Ballmer, and it could be construed as circumventing the cap to the point where the NBA has officially come out with a statement. They are opening an investigation into this. They are looking into this.
And I was wondering the question, is this the biggest salary cap scandal in the history of sports? I don't remember. This is massive.
You are you're on the younger side, so I don't know if you remember the Minnesota Timberwolves got dinged 5 first-round picks and a bunch of other punishments for doing something very similar. I believe the player in question, I saw a bunch of people talking about it. I believe the player in question was Joe Smith. If you look up Joe Smith NBA, I'm sure it'll come up today if I'm remembering the name correctly. But they had a similar situation where they were circumventing the cap to pay him some money. And they were docked 5 first-round picks. His contract was null and void. They lost his bird rights, all sorts of punishments for doing something very similar to what is being alleged here of the Los Angeles Clippers and Kawhi Leonard.
Just in case, here are the penalties when the Minnesota Timberwolves were found to have circumvented the salary cap to sign Joe Smith. 5 first-round picks forfeited. 2 were returned later, by the way. $3.5 million fine. Smith's most recent contract was voided, and bird rights were stripped away. What does that mean?
So you have bird rights to where, as a team, you can go over certain thresholds to pay that player to bring them back because they're yours and you have their bird rights. And so they lost those bird rights, so they now couldn't go over past the salary cap
to bring him back. Wolves owner Glenn Taylor was suspended. Wolves GM Kevin McHale was forced to take a leave of absence. Important to note that this happened 25 years ago, and in recent years, tampering findings have resulted in loss of second-round picks.
This would be Joe Smith territory.
I mean, this is bad.
This is not, we're going to dock you a couple second-round picks. We're going to give you a $2 million fine, and we're all just going to move on here. This is Joe Smith territory.
I mean, this is really bad. This is really, really bad. Into some of the stories. By the way, the D-backs just scored.
Jordan Lawlar?
It's 1-0.
Jordan Lawlar in the game. Surprise edition.
No, he is not in the lineup. That one didn't come from Jordan Lawlar. Gabby Moreno.
Shout out Gabby Moreno.
Anyway, across baseball, heartbreaking news for the Red Sox today. Roman Anthony is headed to the IL with an oblique strain. It's gonna hurt.
They're in the belly of the beast of a wild card race right now. Like, they are in the middle of it.
And he has been their best player over the last month and a half.
And so, yes, a tough blow to be without him for at least the next 10 days.
By the way, talk about like a prospect who's come up with all this hype and legit been their best player since he's gotten there.
Roman Anthony, yeah, he's been excellent for them.
So it's crazy.
They just need more Trevor Story home runs off of gloves and the foul pole in right field.
That was wild.
We don't need top prospects. We just need to play at Fenway Park.
I saw a tweet that was like, this would be a home run in 1 park. And somebody responded to it and said it was a home run in 0 parks.
Legitimately, the StatCast data says it's not a home run in any of the 30 parks, including Fenway. Like, that's how lucky they were to get that home run. And for those of you who missed it, Trevor Story hit a ball fading towards Pesky's pole in right field, went off the fielder, I forget who was playing right field, their glove, and then it hit the foul pole. That's a home run. because
it was wild.
Ricocheted off the glove.
And like you say, it's why it's the best sport. You've never seen anything like that.
Every day you see something that you've never seen before. Never seen that before. That's going to do it for us. Wednesday edition of the program in the books. Jim Rome's coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. The next time we all talk, it's opening night of the NFL season. Everybody have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See